LiberatingNigeria.com is an online political forum with a vision to enlighten, organize, and influence 5 million voters in 2023 in Nigeria. So by 2023, we have the vision of educating and enlightening 5 million first-time voters. And if you are very passionate about Nigeria, this is a platform that you should register on. Please register on the platform, read our articles, and feel free to express your views. We are so concerned about educating people about politics and policies, but we also want you to participate by writing and publishing your articles on the website. So, you don't have to bother if you are good in writing or if you have excellent writing skills. All we require is for you to be passionate about Nigeria and focus on solution rather than analyzing problems, and we'll be partners together. Welcome to the online show once again. My name is Deborah Yusuf, and as usual, I have with me Mr. Debo Onifade, and today we will be dissecting 3 topical issues in Nigeria at this moment. We'll be talking about the APC Braha. We'll be talking about the approval of the 2.3 trillion naira stimulus plan by the Federal Executive Council, and we'll be talking about the endorsement of Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala by the ECOWAS and the demolition of the Nigerian building in Ghana. So before we dive into the discussion for today, welcome to the show, Mr. Debo.
Thank you so much. Nice to be with you today. How's your day going?
Yeah, it's fine. How's yours going too?
Yeah, pretty early. Yeah, it's just starting.
Okay, so let's go straight into business. The APC National Executive Council yesterday held its meeting after the several declaration of chairmanship from Victor Giadom, from the late Bola Tinubu, may he still rest in peace. And they finally had a meeting yesterday, and they reached the following resolutions. They dissolved the National Working Committee, also known as the NWC. They set up a new caretaker committee headed by the governor of Yobe State, Buni, with other governors as members, governors like the governor of Osun State, that's Udoyega Oyetola, and the governor of Niger State. And then they ratified the decision earlier made by National Working Committee having Osagie Ize-Iyamu as its electoral aspirant for the Edo State forthcoming election. Now, my question is, what do you think is the next plan of action for the national leader, okay, who was not even at the meeting yesterday? I am talking of Jagaban himself, Bola Tinubu, and of course the suspended former chairman Oshiomole. Well, now that the NWC has been dissolved, it means that his tenure as chairman of the party has ended. So what do you think is up next for them regarding all of these things, in the midst of all of these things?
Thank you so much. So first of all, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
So, I don't know why all newspapers were reporting that this is a coup against Bola Tinubu. Because I know that it will, hurt him a little bit, but I don't think it's as bad as
we picture it.
Saying. Because first of all, he needs Oshiomole. He needs an NWC that is loyal to him. That's correct, to be able to win in 2023. But in addition to that, remember, it wasn't going to be Oshiomole that would be in charge at that time. So whether you like it or not, Oshiomole would most likely leave before 2023. Even if he wasn't ousted at this time, right? When you're fielding a southerner as a presidential candidate, most parties will typically have a northerner as a chairman, and that's the same. That is what has happened. That happened in the last 6 years. We had Oyegu who was deliberately made the chairman because the presidency was going to go to the north, and because the presidency was going to remain in the north, you had somebody from the south, Oshiomole,
Somali
who was
taking over.
going to be the chairman. So at some point in time, my expectation had been that Oshiomole would leave before 2023 elections. Maybe they were trying to put him there to primaries. So that's that. Second is, from my understanding, the non the Tinubu opposition in the APC is probably limited to about 7 governors. So they are
Okay.
still not in the majority. I find these governors are probably close to some other northern elements, but so far they're not in the majority yet. So I don't really think his threat is ambition. He's
So you
probably,
you think they are not enough to oust him out of the party?
as at now, I don't think so, clearly. And of course, they cannot oust him out of the party. The only plan is to prevent him from winning in 2023. That's their target. When I say win, I'm talking about primaries. I don't think they have the numbers right now. I have some of my friends in the north who also, you know, kind of support these groups. But clearly, they don't have the numbers right now. If you are going to hold a primary election right now, I don't think there's anybody in APC that can beat Tinubu. Now let's talk about the Edo election. If their plan was to get rid of the NWC to allow Obaseki to win, that also did not work. It's good that the next ratified Ize-Iyamu's election, which indicated that Buhari is still giving respect to Oshiomole, and he doesn't want to override a decision that the erstwhile NWC has made. So, which is, for me, good that the party is, I think it's better to have shown that respect to the NWC. If they had reversed that decision, it would have created more, challenges. So for me, as it were right now, I don't think a lot has changed. I think I was shocked actually. I was very surprised when I read that the president was was going to allow NEC to hold. I was really,
Yeah.
really surprised. But what happened afterwards is also an indication that he wants to be fair. I've tried to go through all the details of the people that are in the new caretaker committee. I think many of them are quite neutral. They are not. Many of them are not part of the strong anti-Tinubu forces. I think it indicates that Buhari wants to, be neutral, and I think it's okay to allow every bloc to have a say. I don't. I think it wasn't wise for the NWC to try to knock off Amechi from Rivers politics in the last couple of weeks. I don't think that was fair. I think it's important to get everybody involved, whether you're pro Tinubu or anti Tinubu. I think it's good. This is a time to be neutral, to listen to everybody. So far, I think it hasn't gone as bad as
Painted.
people thought. That's my view, and I think the party eventually they will probably, if they are zoning to the south, they would ultimately have to elect a northern chairman. So whether you like it or not, it's still going to, whether it's now or 6 months time or 2 years, they will still have to have a substantive chairman that is from the north. And so far, I don't think it's gone as bad as people thought.
Well, there are thoughts that they are saying, school of thoughts that are of the opinion that the president actually dissolved the NWC and then set up a new caretaker committee to really take out the former chairman Adams Oshiomole. Like he did that to shame him and all that. And I also want us to talk about the fact that the former governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, has finally gotten the ticket with the opposition party, PDP. During the week, there were so many court orders. One saying he can't get a ticket because he just joined the party a few days, and so he shouldn't be made the candidate. So different others actually. But now he's finally gotten the ticket. His opposition candidate have stepped down for him. So it has become, I see it now like a battle between Obaseki and Oshiomole, because we can all say that Ize-Iyamu is Oshiomole's candidate. So who do you think will win this battle?
So I don't think it's Obaseki versus Oshiomole. I think it's more of Obaseki versus the political gladiators.
Mm,
Personally, I don't think Obaseki has fought the war appropriately.
okay.
I don't support him. He might have. I don't like this idea that when people say things like, you know, um, I got I've got power now. I can change the system. You know, for me, you have to be pragmatic. I'm also I believe in reform, but you have to be pragmatic. Um, I listen to him a lot, and I think that if he claims to be what he claims he is, then why did he go to PDP? PDP is worse. You know,
Mm,
usually I say they're the same, but if you could go to PDP like this, it just shows that he's not what he claims to be. For me, and there will be a lot of people in the PDP that will be weary of him.
oh,
That will
really?
be concerned that he's going to get there
So
and he's going to rubbish.
okay.
He's going to rubbish all of us. So
So
for
what would
me,
you advise he could have done?
I think, for example, just before the elections, he flew to Lagos with other governors to talk to Bola Tinubu. Why did he delay that to a few weeks to primaries? He should have spent years trying to get other people to his side, so that he can negotiate properly with those so-called political godfathers. I am for. I, I clearly support any governor that is willing to fight for the people and
Okay.
break out, with his political godfather. That's okay. But you don't fight dirty. You don't fight like the way he fought. You have to look for people to work with you, so you can fight. You know, more, you can fight better. For example, if you have several political leaders in the state on your side, and you get maybe Tinubu on your side, it's easier for you to get these people together and speak to Oshiomole and other people and say, hey guys, you're not getting all you want, but this is what I'm doing for the people. Can you please make this compromise so we can work together? That's what politics is all about. All over the world, politics is about negotiation. You're not a military guy. You can't just become governor and attack everybody that helped you. And remember, he didn't even allow the House to sit. He didn't allow about 60, 70% of the members of the State House Assembly to be sworn in. So what kind of governor is that? You ran with maybe 40, 30, just a little over 30% of the House of Assembly. That's not the way politics is done all around the world. It's okay to disagree with your godfather and fight for the people, but you have to be pragmatic. So for me, I am thinking APC is going to win this election. I think that,
Really?
yeah, I think Obaseki has
So
not
what
played.
what do you think will be the difference in terms of percentage now?
I mean, remember, this Ize-Iyamu, Pastor Ize-Iyamu almost beat Obaseki 4 years ago uh, because of how popular he was. He went to PDP
Mm,
and he
yeah.
almost beat the APC. So he's a popular guy, pure. And to beat that kind of person, you're not going to use elitism or big English to beat that kind of person. You must, you can only beat that kind of person if you have spent the last 3 years expanding your political base. Governor Baseki has not done a lot about that. From what I hear, I think he's done some things well in Edo State. I'm aware that the market women are happy that he's been able to stop area boys from harassing them a lot. But politics is a game of numbers. You have to get more people to your side. I don't think he's done enough expanding his political base in the last 3 years, and that's what I think is going to hurt him. It's not how
Mm,
smart you are as a person per se, but how good you are bringing people together. And
mm,
I believe that he could have better fought that battle if he had more people on his side he may have even won the primaries, because that may have been that getting people to your side will have put a lot of pressure on Oshiomole to compromise. And when you're able to sustain that pressure, then at some point even the Godfather will give in. So I think that's going to hurt him. Uh, I don't really think that the Pastor Ize-Iyamu is a better candidate one on one, but he probably he's by far a better politician, and that might make him win the election eventually.
Wow. Now, I think, don't you think that politics being a game of numbers is a weakness for democracy? Now, we have a good person who you call a new breed politician in your book, and he's coming out to fight the powers that be because he wants to take power, but now he can't even take power. He can't even win elections because the numbers are not in his favor. Isn't that a weakness for democracy? Are we even ever going to set things right if things continue to go like this?
Unfortunately, that's democracy, and that's what I try to explain in my book. The elites have, a way of thinking, that is absolutely different from what politics is all about. Politics is not monarchy. It's not military. It's different. Military. When Nigeria was run by the military, they looked for the brightest people and put them in, as ministers. Babangida, they didn't do well, but they brought the brightest people to government. Even Murtala Muhammad, first Buhari, Babangida, they brought super smart people, some of them in their 30s, to government. That's politics. I mean, that's military.
The military.
But when it comes to politics, you can't do that. You have to consider people. So as long as we want to practice military, and I think military is still the best, it's still the best. It's still the best. It's still the best system of government. As long as that's what we want to practice in Nigeria, good people must learn what politics is all about, and it's not about too much of grammar. It's about collaborating with people. It's about being a people's person. It's about compromising many times, and working with people you don't like. That's politics. We have to learn it. It's difficult. It's not easy, but good people must learn that, and that's the only way we can get power. Like I've explained many times, even Madiba, Nelson Mandela would not have become president if he did not find a way to work with the apartheid regime, with the bad guys, at that time, who did racist whites at that time. He worked with them, everywhere around the world. Good people have had to make compromises to win elections, and that's what I keep telling Nigerian good people. You're not going to win it by yourself. Because let's talk about the electorates in Nigeria. What's the percentage of good people among the electorates? I don't want to, but there's a lot of not so good people in Nigeria. So all over the world, not just Nigeria, there are a lot of not so good people. I don't want to use the word bad. So if you're banking on the fact that, I'm a good person, I want the good people to vote for me, then you're probably going to get 5% of those of the votes in any country. So you need votes from bad people. So you also need to collaborate with some bad people to win elections.
Okay, that's all we're taking on the APC PDP Edo election. We'll go on a short break and we will be right back on the show. We get to talk about the 2.3 trillion naira stimulus plan that has been approved by the Federal Executive Council.